Hi, I'm Skyla Lee. I'm going to read you a story about overcoming Katsaridaphobia, which is a fear of cockroaches. This story is written in diary format. For part 1, I'll be reading you the therapist's entry. Please enjoy. Overcoming Katsaridaphobia, or not? 8th October 2025. I took a swig of my tea, onyx eyes deeply immersed in my scientific paper, fingers typing away on the keyboard swiftly. Just then the mahogany door swung open, revealing a mother and her son. The youth's brow was creased in a scowl, challenging Chestnut's gaze darting around the room. He narrowed his eyes as he caught sight of the rusted bronze plaque on the far wall, the one with the word therapy in bold. His parent, a snowy beauty in her early 30s, caught sight of this and fixed her son with a malicious stare. They seated themselves on the ebony leather couch opposite to my desk, and the woman cleared her throat. Hello, Dr. Atchell. This is my boy, Felix Sen, and I'm Adeline Kelson. Ferrier is diagnosed with a severe case of Katsaridaphobia. Felix Sen pursed his rosy lips, eyeing Adeline fiercely. That's simply the scientific term for a fear of roaches. It's rather common amongst the population. At this moment, the most efficient yet evidence-based approach is exposure and response prevention, or ERP, I concluded. Evading a fear reinforces it, so you should move to a neighborhood full of cockroaches, or visit a cockroach manor once a week or so. Felix said, before you conquer the phobia, you'll have natural reactions to the sight of a roach, like increased heart rate, sweating, etc. There's no need to fear these sensations and add another phobia to your list. Adeline drummed her slender fingers on a velvet cushion. I'd like to know how ERP works. What's the point of forcing a patient to succumb even more? I smoothed a wrinkle in my skirt as I spoke. Habituation and inhibitory learning. Of course, you won't be familiar with these terms unless you're a therapist yourself, so let me explain. The latter means learning that the feared result won't happen or will be manageable. Habituation means one's natural tendency to become acclimated to a certain stimulus, in this case, cockroaches. I hesitated and leaned towards Felix Ann. You've learned diaphragmatic breathing, right? Also psychoeducation about anxiety? The boy nodded, knuckles white, and, for whatever reason, cheeks flushed with color. Good. Now, what type of roach scares you the least? Felix then chuckled, leaning back. A badly torn roach, of course, like this. He drew a sketch pad from the pocket of his faded blue trousers and scribbled a cockroach. Adeline cocked her head, perplexed. That isn't a cockroach. That's an albino ladybug without polka dots on its wings. I clapped my hands together. Great, but that's highly unreminiscent of a roach. How about a more realistic cartoon cockroach? I typed realistic cartoon cockroach on Google. Admirably high quality images popped up, and I showed them to Felix Sen. He shivered, eyes narrowed, head bowed, knuckles white, only exhaling a long held breath. and I pressed the delete button. That'll be an SUD1. An SUD is the unit therapists measure fear in. Adeline fingered the sleek, glossy, wavy Orient hair. The next level should be a real image of a roach. Probably what's SUD too. I'm not an expert at therapy. No! Felix hand whirled around, tearing his gaze from the window, eyes widening in pure terror. No! Rising from his seat on the edge of the couch, he tilted his head upwards, eyes closed as if drinking in the spotlight. Adeline, evidently shocked by her son's bold statements, came to her senses and instantly pulled him back into the heap of cushions with a single swift, ferocious gesture. Snatching his ear, she whispered something malicious to him. A flash of some emotion crossed Felix's snowy face before it was deeply cemented in expressionlessness. He inhaled a shaky breath before turning to face me yet again. Okay then, where's that photo? I detected a trace of bitterness in his tone, but obviously he wasn't about to inform me of it. I arched a thin eyebrow. Are you 100% sure? Yes. Felix's voice had that quivering, uncertain, yet confident element in it, like one being forced into a deal. My stomach cramped as the memories of a child I once had rose to the surface. A couple years back, my husband had threatened one of our children on absurd conditions as a negative, punitive disciplinary action. The youth, I winced, my cheeks blushing bright scarlet. It's the memory of him being diagnosed with insomnia and finally falling asleep a handful of days later, only to sleepwalk into the bathroom and trip into the toilet. Now's not the time to get immersed in memories. I reached to unbuckle the sleek black briefcase lying on my marble desk, and blinking gaze fixed on Felix's hand, I placed it on my lap. Adeline, don't let him turn away. His son whimpered in fear. I opened the case in a swift gesture to reveal a photograph of an unimaginably adorable dubia roach. Felix then screamed, whilst Adeline cooed, "Get that god-forsaken nuisance out of my sight!" He attempted to scramble away, shrieking and screeching. A balding man with a raven goatee peeked into the room. "Oh, hello, Mimi. What an adorable little photo of a roach you've got there. I was just about to go to the men's restroom." I nodded, gaze fixed on the petrified Felix. "Ah, I see. A katsaridaphobe." The man jumped as screams rang from farther down the marble hallway. "I'd better be snappy and get to the toilets. Lunch together at the Starbucks cafe round back as usual, Mimi," he said. I nodded. "Righty then." He shut the door firmly and dashed down the hall. I closed my briefcase, and Felix's struggles gave way to whimpers. I turned to Adeline. SUD5 at least. He's not ready yet, Adeline. The woman scowled, shaking her head. He is, right, Val? I surveyed mother and son for a brief moment before sighing. All right, fine. Since I was doing a bacteriology paper before your arrival, I happened to possess a deceased specimen of a cockroach. Termites? Felix said hopefully. I grinned at him. reaching inside my drawer, fingers brushing the ice-cold exoskeleton of the roach. It twitched slightly, waving its antennae. You've been tracking the latest science, but no, I'm not talking about those. They've evolved so much that they don't even look like roaches anymore. I mean a deceased dubia roach. The katsaridaphobe fainted. This is the end of part 1. Part 2 will be the diary entry of the rather unfortunate Felix San. Stay tuned!